The aim of this lecture is to answer a key question. Why do we need to collaborate with suppliers? After this lecture, you will be able to understand what is co-design and which are the main reasons why a company should pursue co-design with suppliers. As seen in previous lecture, suppliers are more and more becoming a source of value for fashion companies. In this view, collaborations between focal companies and suppliers are always more frequent also in fashion supply chains. With supplier collaboration, we mean the joint development of capabilities for both the customer and supplier in order to reduce cost, improve process, and innovate products or services. The reason why companies exploit suppliers' collaborations are several. First of all, for cost reduction, focusing on cutting costs for both sides beyond traditional sourcing levels. Suppliers are treated as partners, not as cost centers, necessitating the development of long-term trusting relationships through the idea to increase the value beyond a simple cost cutting. Secondly, for value beyond cost. This could be the right program for companies that want to improve the safety or the quality of products, develop additional sources of supply for a new or capacity-constrained component, or work with a supplier on lean improvements. Thirdly, for innovation. It is the practice of working with suppliers to improve the pace and quality of product or process innovation. It creates value in areas like design, speed to market, and consumer insights. This form of collaboration requires the most time, money, and trust. It also carries the most risk because of the experimental nature of developmental work and the need for more two-way trust than ever before. In this lecture, we will mainly focus on this last point, when suppliers become a real source of innovation. The growing impact of purchasing for the company obliges firms to understand whether also suppliers could be an incredibly relevant source of innovation. Let's try to make some examples. Suppliers could provide new materials for the new collection. Suppliers could suggest new manufacturing processes to reduce the environmental impact of the process. Suppliers could integrate new technologies into the products or into the process. When suppliers and focal company collaborate to jointly develop innovation, we talk about technological innovation or co-design. Co-design pertains to a collaboration between a focal company and a supplier to develop brand new products and the related new processes in discontinuous situations or to deeply revise existing products and related processes as well. This approach is generally adopted with the purpose to share and combine the knowledge of the two actors involved. When we talk about co-design, we consider the joint development of both design and engineering activities. Why co-design is necessary? This is a very important question, quite close to the make or buy decisions you already discussed. Firstly, the purpose of co-design is to reduce the time to market, an incredibly relevant performance for fashion companies due to the high time constraints existing in the industry. Secondly, co-design allows to reduce development and engineering costs. Due to the short life cycle of fashion products that last for not more than 6 months, it is a critical point of success to reduce development costs as much as possible. Moreover, in case of luxury products sold also in small quantities per item, it becomes extremely important to avoid that development costs count too much. Thirdly, and perhaps more important, because sharing best practices among different actors also allows to increase the level of innovativeness and quality achieved. Especially when high technical skills are required or when breakthrough innovation are pursued, it is a fundamental goal to get in contact with the core competencies of different actors. Let's imagine the examples of a traditional fashion company willing to shift towards clothing embedding wearable technologies. Competencies requests are so high and time to exploit this need is so short that alone would become almost impossible to pursue this innovation. But when is the use of co-design preferable? All kinds of collaborations are actually expensive, and so it should be used when necessary and valuable, when the value obtained overcomes potential costs as well as risks. For these reasons, co-design is suggested when companies want to focus strictly on their core competencies, also in the design phase, and so it is not possible to fully design the item internally and then subcontracting. At the same time, this approach is suggested when the focal company has a need for customization and the product sold is not simply available on shelf. To understand if this solution is appropriate, there are some features of the relationships to investigate and consider. The method is adoptable if there is mutual trust between companies, maybe because companies have been working together since many years. At the same time, competencies are really complementary, and so the contribution of the two companies to the co-development is equally distributed. In conclusion, during this lecture you have seen why co-design is important, as suppliers are an additional important source of innovation. Try to investigate which are the main reasons to adopt it and in which situation it is more appropriate to pursue co-design.